Boy and the Heron is Studio Ghibli's latest and possibly Hayao Miyazaki's final film, and it's in theaters right now. So let's talk about it. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here, and as I do with all my movie reviews, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about The Boy and the Heron, who made it, what it's about, all that good stuff. Then I'll go into the things I did and did not like about the movie, the pros and cons. And finally, I'll let you know who I think this movie is for, if anyone. If that kind of thing sounds good to you and you want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies that are coming out in theaters and on streaming, make sure you subscribe. All right, so The Boy and the Heron follows a young boy named Mahito. While yearning for his mother, he ventures into a world shared by both the living and the dead. There, death comes to an end and life finds a new beginning. Now, I know that plot sounds absolutely wild, but it totally fits. The Boy and the Heron is written and directed by the legendary Japanese filmmaker Hayao Miyazaki and is officially his 12th feature film. Do you know his first? Boom! Lupin the Third, baby. The Castle of Cagliostro. So good. But The Boy and the Heron is his first movie in 10 years, and possibly the last movie he will ever make. So, with The Boy and the Heron, will this king of anime be going out on top? Well, let's get into it with the pros and cons, starting, of course, with the pros. The things I loved about this movie. The first thing that jumps out to me is the way the movie sounds. I know most people would notice the visuals first, but The Boy and the Heron is an auditory gem. And it's not just the music. Although, yes, the music in the movie is phenomenal. The score is beautiful and emotional. It swells up emotion inside of you the way only a great Ghibli or maybe a classic Disney movie can do. I particularly appreciate the use of piano throughout the movie. It's definitely one of those soundtracks that you're going to want to listen to over and over again after you've seen the movie. Aside from just the music though, the Foley in the movie was so good. And if you're not familiar with the term Foley, it's basically all of the sounds that you hear throughout the movie. The sound of feet hitting the floor, or a pot on a stove bubbling, or wind through trees. All those sound effects that you might take for granted are wonderfully incorporated into The Boy and the Heron. It all just sounds so crisp and purposeful. So it sounds great, but how does it look? I mean, come on. Can you imagine a world in which a Miyazaki movie doesn't look good? It is top tier hand-drawn animation. And honestly, probably the best we've seen a Ghibli movie look so far. It really feels like Miyazaki threw every ounce of passion and attention into each and every cell in this movie. All the backgrounds, whether it's some kind of fantastical forest or just a basic Japanese kitchen, every background image in the movie is wallpaper worthy on your phone for sure. The characters are also stunning, not only in the way that they just look, but the way that they move throughout the scenes. The animation is incredibly fluid and detailed. And the characters, of course, fit into all the different tropes that you might expect from a Ghibli movie. There are these adorable little creatures that you see in the movie that have the entire audience in the theater just going, aw, but also some really weird creatures and characters that you'll see that will absolutely freak you out. Not just in how they look, but again, in how they move. It's all in the animation, in the fluidity. It's honestly the stuff of dreams and also the stuff of nightmares all mixed together. Oh, and lest I forget, there are some top-notch food scenes in the movie. If you know, you know. There really should be an Instagram dedicated exclusively to food in Ghibli movies. I'd follow it. The Boy and the Heron is also trippy as hell, both in the way that certain scenes are animated, but also in just the themes of the movie. There are some wildly deep concepts in this one. It tackles ideas of birth and death and rebirth and pre-birth. Really though, bravo on being able to make a movie that has all the awe and wonder that appeals to people of all ages, but maybe more specifically to younger ones. And at the same time, making a movie that tackles incredibly deep concepts like birth and death and legacy. But of course, no movie is perfect. And even though I love The Boy and the Heron, there are a few things that might not do it for you. So let's get into that with the cons. But before we do, I want to let you know that this video is sponsored by you. That's right, I'm just a tiny little channel here without any corporate sponsors, so by just watching the video, you're really helping me out. If you want to be super dope though and show your support in the easiest possible way, do me a solid and just click that little thumbs up button below the video and maybe leave a comment. You know I'm gonna ask it. What's your favorite Ghibli or Miyazaki movie? I feel like it's an impossible question to answer. But for me, right now, I might go with My Neighbor Totoro. It's just too damn sweet. Let me know your favorite though in the comments below. You can also now join the channel as a member if you want to help support me financially, or just subscribe so that way you can keep up to speed on all the new big movies coming out. Either way, I appreciate it. All right, back to the cons. Man, this is gonna be tough. I really had to pick my critical brain for this one. Okay, so Miyazaki can be pretty abstract with his work, right? And so if you're looking for a more simple, straightforward movie, this is definitely not gonna work. And so yeah, if that's you, you might find yourself wishing that they would get to the point from time to time, or you might think that he's just being extra when he really doesn't need to be. It's a lot. And that's something that might not fit well with everyone. And really the only other nitpick I can think of is maybe with the main character. He is pretty dry and kind of a blank slate. And although sometimes a quote unquote blank slate of a character can help the audience put themselves in their shoes, there are some times when you feel that he might not be acting in a way that makes sense to you. Although to that, I would really say it's probably more of a cultural thing. In general, Japanese people, and yes, even children, can tend to be a little more stoic and less expressive than your typical American or Western kid. So that might be something you're not used to. But look, I mean, yes, these are absolute nitpicks. I can't even front. This movie is amazing. So all right, enough of that. Who do I think The Boy and the Heron is for? Well, first things first, if you're a Ghibli or Hayao Miyazaki fan at all, I think you're gonna love The Boy and the Heron. If this is Miyazaki's final film, hot damn, what a way to go out. If you haven't really seen any Miyazaki films though, is this a good jumping on point? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be more trippy than some of the other movies in his filmography, so just be prepared for that. But I think it's a great place to start, particularly because it's just so good to see a movie like this in theaters with the largest group possible. Who is it not for, though? Well, if you haven't really enjoyed any other Miyazaki movies, oh boy, this one is absolutely not for you. In The Boy and the Heron, Miyazaki's more than I think he's ever Miyazaki'd. So you've been warned. For me personally, though, I don't know if I can say this is his best work yet, but I can say it would be an incredible movie to go out on. And it really feels like that's what this one's all about. It really feels like Miyazaki is telling us that his time is coming to a close and that he's created these beautiful and wonderful and imaginative worlds for us all to enjoy over the past 40 years. Movies so many of us have grown up on. Movies that have touched our hearts and fired up our imaginations. Movies that have given us hope, that have taught us how to face life's hardships, taught us how to let go. Movies that have taught us how to love and how to be loved in return. This man has given us all so much. And it seems now, as he reaches his final chapters, he's asking all of us to become his successor, to build our own worlds full of love and wonder and free from malice. Of course, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Either way, if The Boy and the Heron sounds interesting to you, make sure you check it out in theaters this weekend. If you've already seen The Boy and the Heron, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if not, what are some of your favorite Miyazaki movies? Let's have a conversation about them in the comments. And of course, if you just want to keep up to speed on all the new big movies that are coming out in theaters and on streaming, make sure you subscribe. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Be good. Oh, hey, okay, you made it to the very end of the video, which can only mean one thing. You are awesome. And because you're so awesome, I'm going to let you know that I am trying to make a massive push right now to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're about a little bit less than 100 away from 2,000 subscribers. So if you've made it this far, if you like my movie reviews, if you like my trailer reactions, if you just like keeping up on all the new movies and shows that are coming out on streaming and in theaters, I really appreciate it. Do me a solid, subscribe, help me get to 2K by 2K24, and maybe tell your friends if you know anybody that's into movies that you think might enjoy this channel and these videos. So, all right, that's it. I got to get back to editing the video that you're watching or that you just finished watching. Whoa, this is a time loop. Okay, bye.